recently saw Christina Aguilera in concert, and I was really excited to see that she did songs from Bionic, and you obviously wrote quite a few songs on that project, including Glam, which I think still to this day should have been the first single to lead off that entire era. Let's get glam. Don't let the clothes wear you.
Exactly.
I feel like that album was ahead of its time. So I wanted to ask you, now that the album is coming 10 next year, which is crazy to me.
It is crazy.
So what are your thoughts on the album now, and why do you think it didn't hit when it first came out? What went wrong?
I still think the album is fucking incredible.
It is.
It was ahead of its time. Christina Aguilera is a fan of music, so she put me on a lot of artists when we were working on that album. She was trying to bring in new sounds and producers that the world wasn't. In fact, she was one of the first people to work with Sia.
Yeah, she was.
Sia was on that album too. She took a chance on me. It was me, Sia, Esther Dean, Tricky. We weren't new, but for her and her sound, it was new.
Yeah.
And the reason the album didn't work, in my opinion, was 10 years ago, we were still at the height of that really destructive, mean blog culture. Perez Hilton, to be specific.
Yep.
And I don't know if he had a personal vendetta against her or he was just, it was fun to be anti-Christina Aguilera at the time. We do that. We do this thing with as fans and as a culture where like we pick someone that's just their year to be trashed. And he was extremely rude and mean to her about the album, about the process, about her looks, about the singles. And I think the music industry and the world gave him way too much power about what music was. I don't think he knows that much about music. And why it pissed me off was not just because it hurt her personally, but what the fans don't understand sometimes is that an album isn't just Christina Aguilera. An album is Christina Aguilera and all the musicians that played on it, and the mix engineers, and the admin people, and the hundreds of people besides the head of the label that you're protesting that have worked and stayed extra hours to do all the business and the legal work. And so there's hundreds of people invested in that album doing well. A lot of money spent and a lot of time spent and blood, sweat, and tears in the studio and out of it. And so when someone like Perez Hilton goes online and says it's trash because he's mad at her because of some silly reason, like she didn't follow him or he doesn't think she's the flavor of the week, they don't realize that you're actually keeping a lot of people from money and opportunity and exposure. So I felt it personally, as I'm sure she felt the most. Her name was on it.
Yeah.
Her face was on it. But I felt it because I put in as much work as she did too on the many records I did on the album. But the culture back then was very much around what those kind of celebrity shock bloggers were doing. It still exists, but doesn't have the same kind of power to ruin artists. The fans have power with social media now to determine what, and they can shut some of those bloggers down. But she got caught in this kind of thing where they labeled her the Ice Queen and kind of mean, and it was very catty, and it affected her songs. Luckily, her fans are true blue. The fighters don't play games, and they've kept that alive. The funny thing is that we did Bionic, and right after we worked on the Burlesque soundtrack, and they both kind of become, thank you. They both kind of become cult classics because the songs were good enough where they stood the test of time. So I was happy to hear her doing them in the new tour because the world still loves Christina. She's still a powerhouse, and those songs deserve to be seen full out with the staging, and that's what she imagined. When she's in the studio, Christina sees the whole thing. She's an amazing writer and singer, but she sees visuals and fashion and videos and stage, and that wasn't able to happen because of all that crap. So I think she's able to get it all out now in this tour, and I hope that people will pay it to see the tour and then encourage her to keep performing them because there's nudity and glam and vanity and a bunch of those records.
The title track, Sex for Breakfast.
Sex for Breakfast was my favorite. Sex for Breakfast should have been a single too.
Bobblehead.
Yep.
The bonus Monday morning. The bonus tracks were fire too.
All of it. The whole album was really cool, and the artwork was crazy. It was
Birds of Prey.
The whole thing was artistic. So yeah, I was salty about it for a while, not because I care about the chart position. I care about people having the opportunity to consider the music.
Yes.
and I was mad the labels were giving the blogs that much power. So I think that's a big part of the reason why I didn't do as well as it should have been.
But also, Glam should have been the first single.
I think Glam should have been the first single too. I love Glam still. Glam should have been in. They should put Glam in Pose right now. Put Glam in Pose.
And Vanity.
And Vanity in Pose. Come on, man.
And the thing is, when I was watching the performance, the staging, the way she directs that song is literally 1980s New York ball culture.
And we were like, she loves that. And we talked a lot about the imagery and what we were trying to conjure up, and all that was part of it. I'm from New York City, so that was in the streets when I was growing up. So I was familiar with it. And it was ahead of its time. It's what's hot right now. So,
cool. So
we had Nicki on that album. Nicki was on Google.
Yeah, she was.
Did you write the song too? Oh.
Esther and Christina. Yeah.
Cool.